Hello, you guys. I think this is going to be a short video, and I might do another one because I've got some scriptures that I love, and one thing led to another, so like it normally does. But I was just wanting to emphasize that we're going home. Not just that. I mean, like, I try to wrap my mind around it, but I realized something today. Maybe God reminded me about these near death experiences, and almost every single one of them explains that when they're up there, that is the real reality. They always are saying that same thing. They're always repeating it over and over. They say it is more real up there than ever it is down here. So when, you know, when you think about being there, and they also say they feel like they're home. Like that's where we all come from. That's where everything, the saying heaven sent. Like the animals, our pets, our animals, they're heaven sent. And they're going to go right back to heaven. Because no, they don't, maybe not. I do know they have a spirit because you can break their spirit. There's a debate, I guess, that they don't have a soul, but it doesn't matter. Neither does a calf or a snake, an asp, and a horse. I mean, and if those things, like in Isaiah, the child will lie down with the lamb will lie down with the lion, and the child will sit on the asp's nest or something. All those animals, those aren't even pets. But anyway, I'm getting off on a subject. Those aren't even pets, and they're in heaven. And there's horses up there because we're going to be riding on horses. So coming back. And anyway, and I'm thinking, but there's so many animals in the world. For 2,000 years, there's been animals breeding and breeding and breeding, like our pets. And not just the ones that are loved, our pets we love dearly. What about all the abused, neglected animals and in the pound right now, or in somebody's yard that nobody even knows they're there, and they're just rotting away in loneliness or starvation or just all that. Anyway, and then think of in the backwoods days, old time, where if your cat or your dog had a litter and they didn't want those, they just put them in a sack, tied it up, and threw it in the river, right? Those babies will be up there. I'm talking about, yeah, mass amounts of animals. A lot. And anyway, I think heaven is big enough. I've said that many times in comments. Heaven is big enough for all of them. He made them all. And especially the ones that were not loved. They never knew love. And I want them to be there. Have horrible stories, being maimed and tortured and abused, things like that. I've seen some videos, but anyway, oops, sorry about that. I didn't mean to get on that, but yes, that is, God made it that way to where earth is like a smoky haze. We think and I'm not talking woo woo crap like we're in a matrix. I mean, I don't even know what that means, but no, we're in God's reality. How God made it. It's just like a smoky haze. We're seeing through a glass dimly. Yeah, like the verse says. So it's like a scratched up glass, but the colors are more vibrant. Like I said, our brains, scientifically, they have said that the human brain only uses like 3%. We're even the geniuses out there only use just like 3% of their brain. And I think that's because God is saving that 97% so that we can comprehend it up there. But even if that's not the reason, because He doesn't need to open up the rest of the 97% of our brain to comprehend heaven, He can just make us comprehend it. You know what I mean? But we are, Bubba's, are you hot? Um, he's panting. We are going to feel more alive, more real. Like the reality is going to be like, we'll be up there and think, I thought my life was real, which it is. It is. Our lives are real. I'm not saying anything weird and strange. I'm itchy on my back. I probably need to take a shower. I don't know. Anyway, yeah, it is going to be more real up there. And when we get up there, we're going to feel so at home. We're also going to feel like we're finally back home. All of that understanding and knowledge is going to open up again. And we're going to just really, it's going to be real reality. And it is our real life. It's not like we're going to feel uncomfortable at some big dinner party. You know what I mean? Like, oh, there's so many people I got to know or meet, or I'm uncomfortable in crowds, or I have anxiety and I don't want to be around these people, or anything like that. You know what I mean? We're going to, yeah, it's just going to be like we're home again, but it's perfect. And I've said this before too, to like my sisters, trying to get them on board and stuff for watching and everything. I've said, you know what? It's going to be infinite amount of perfect lifetimes. Okay? Think about, imagine what a perfect lifetime on earth would be for you. And that ain't even coming close to a perfection up there. And it's not just one lifetime. It's an endless, it's eternity. And it's perfect every second. And like I said, you feel like you're at home. It is your real reality. It's your real father. He was your father before your father was your father. And he knows you so much better than anybody. He knows how to make you feel comfortable. He knows how to make you be yourself, who you were created to be. We're going to be who we really are. That verse that says, probably same one, similar to, we look through a glass dimly, and then we will be known as we are also known. And I always interpreted that to be like, oh, see, on earth, we're shrouded with pain, hurt, wounds, scars in our psyche and hearts and minds and souls and spirits. And we might not have flourished and blossomed into what we were supposed to be in a perfect world, right? But up there, I was thinking, oh, I'm going to find out who I really am. You know, people that say, oh, I got to go find myself. No, it's not like that. But if you were oppressed your whole life, like a dog, my dog, when animals are abused and suppressed and oppressed and they can never learn how to be themselves or what would even being themselves be like, you know, what am I like? Who am I really? Because I've been oppressed or suppressed with some of these people, right? And anyway, and then some people in life are bound like that, and then they get set free and they feel so alive because they're like, oh, I can be comfortable in my own skin now, kind of deal. Well, that's how it'll be in heaven. It'll be like you're finally can be in your own skin, and you're probably going to find out who you really were meant to be for those of you who do have bondages of mental problems of any kind, A to Z, anxiety to schizophrenia or something. So that would be sad, wouldn't it? I mean, I guess a schizophrenic or a out of your mind crazy like psych ward. I'm sure, yeah, they know Jesus. They know of him. I'm positive because the book says that all creation knows. And not only that, Psalm 150, where it says, let everything that hath breath praise the Lord. You know what that means? It's because your breath is saying God. That's how you pronounce Yahweh without the vowels. It's pronounced. So he made it like that so that every breath is praising him. However, I know there's these wicked, evil, demonic people out there doing things to children and their wives or their husbands. I was thinking about that today. I'm like, Lord, what about their breath? But anyway, I was just going to say, maybe when we get there, we will be known as we are also known. Could also be because some of these verses can be multi-purposed. And also how heaven really is where we belong. It's where we came from. It's where we need to be. And it's where we're going to go back to. We've already been there. Before we came here, we were up there. And he doesn't recycle. So whoever was meant to be born in that certain generation, they were just up there waiting, their spirit, soul, and everything, until it was time for them. God wanted them to be down here. And my dog is doing that again. He was looking up. So anyway, right when I was saying that, maybe he's got an ear problem. Not really. Anyway, so I just thought that I could tell you that it's just so surreal. You know, it's very surreal that and I think, you mark my words, I don't bet. If I were a bettor, I would say that when time gets closer, like a few days before, today I was thinking to myself, 923 is probably going to, like, miraculously, like, very strangely appear everywhere. Who knows? Like on the gas station sign or the billboard or the neon lights. I don't know. I think something really miraculous is going to happen the few days before leading up to. And so for like few days before Jesus comes, can you believe? I mean, just to think about it, it has to be that way. When Jesus, I know there's no time up in heaven, but when Jesus is about to leave and come get us, which he has been for 2,000 years, because there's no time in heaven, but it has been as in 2 days. If it has been like 2 days up there in heaven for God and Jesus, then you know that at the end of the second day, he's going to be standing right there ready to jump to meet us in the clouds. He's going to jump down to the clouds, I guess, so to speak. So when it gets closer, so think about it, when he is about that second about to come and get us, the whole world, it's God. The whole world is going to have no choice but to feel that power of his presence coming. And I think the world is going to be either oddly quiet and in awe, or, because every knee is going to bow. Everything that has breath praises the Lord. So, and every knee will bow and every tongue will confess. And I'm not saying they're going to do that That's probably why he has to meet us in the clouds and send the angels down, because his power would be too much if he got too close to the earth. But I still believe, even, and I know angels are swarming around all the time anyway, so I don't know if these are his personal angels he's sending down, because we have angels down here already, but we can't see them. But I don't know if these certain angels that are going to come down and get us to drive us up to Jesus, fly us, drive us, whatever. Then I I don't I don't know if this world is going to feel any of that power, but anyway, I think Jesus is going to do some really special things for us in the last few days of being here, and we're we're going to be like freaking vacating our houses without packing. It's going to be a mass exodus of the flight kind. You know, think about it. When you know you're going to move, you know you're going to move. You start packing, you start preparing. You might sell some things, have a garage sale, even if you got to sell your car, sell your house, whatever. It's like we're going to be vacating in a different way. Even more so than the Exodus, they had to walk. And look, there was not one feeble among them. So maybe before we go up, there won't be one feeble among us. Maybe we're going to start glowing. I mean, I just don't know, like Moses' face. But I just know that when we get there, it's not going to be too crowded, even though there's going to be so many people, the ones that have gone on before us, plus all of us, however many millions. And how are we going to get to know everybody? How are we going to meet everybody? How are we going to know everything about everybody instantaneously? And it's going to be, the colors are more bright and vibrant. We're going to have instantaneous downloaded knowledge of everything in an instant. Our bodies are going to be perfect in an instant. And as I'm saying that, he shot his head up. So, Benny, what are you doing? Anyway, I keep missing it. And he didn't do it a long time this time anyway, but he'll like look around. So, right as I said that, we're going to be perfect in an instant. We're just going to be at home. We're going to feel more at home than we ever did on earth. And we don't even know how that would feel. So once we do feel it, it's going to be amazing. We have never, and those of us that have never felt at home in your own skin or in life or whatever, there was an old saying in counseling, they'd say, oh, you always feel like you're on the outside looking in. I never understood that, but anyway, I'm just saying that we're gonna feel like we have never left and that we are finally there. Like sometimes people say that about Israel when they go visit. They say we feel like we were home, and I bet God meant it to be that way because that's where he resides, in Zion. And so when people go there, and Jesus walked there, so I know he's got his residue there, his Holy Spirit is there. And so people say that about Jerusalem sometimes, or Israel. But when we get to heaven, yeah, we're going to feel really who we are, like who we were meant to be. And we're going to be perfect mind, soul, body, spirit, no scars, no damage, no wounds, and things that afflicted our personalities. And we're gonna feel like we're at home, and there'll be nothing strange about it. Nobody will have to perform. You know what I mean? Like you get in a big crowd and you feel like you have to perform. Oh, let me put a smile on when I'm really freaking out. I mean, I don't know. It won't be like that. I don't know if we're gonna meet our family first, my dogs, if they're allowed at the dinner table. My children will be there. I hope, I guess. I don't know if there's a separate thing just for us raptured people, but all I know is that's how I can kind of wrap my head around it. Did I turn the air down? I went on in the hall to do that, and I don't remember if I did it because yeah, I did. So anyway, yeah, I'm just thinking that it's hard to wrap my head around the fact that I'll be in heaven in just 20 days, or I'll be closer and closer in 20 days. Um, so in order to sometimes wrap my mind around that, because I don't think about it every second, because my mind is human and it's hard to wrap my mind around it that I'll be gone in 20 days. We're going to be gone. So I just think of it like, Bob's, you're panting. He ate too much, actually, is what it is. So, and yeah, feed your pets, load them down on the treats. Don't need to be worrying about obesity or heart disease now. Just let them be happy. Okay. And so, yeah, we're okay. I can't listen to the panting. So, yeah, we're gonna like be so real. Here it comes, Dad. Things are gonna be just so real, more real than we've ever known. There's gonna be nothing that retarded our personalities. You know, some people may be under the gun, like never have in their life were they ever able to be themselves. Maybe somebody never could be themselves because they were too anxious or depressed or anything of that. But we're going to be so perfect, mind, body, soul, and spirit, not just the body. They talk about the body all the time. Yeah, the body is glorified. But what about your mind? Your all that. Your soul and your spirit is going to be perfect again. And you're going to feel like you're home. You will belong there. Never in your life, even if I don't care if never in your life or your whole life you have always felt like you belong, maybe that's good for you. But you're going to feel it even more in heaven. And in heaven, you're going to be like, boy, I thought I belonged. You know, I had a family, I had a good family, I had this, I had that. I belonged, I was loved, or I was loved well. Um, but that doesn't even compare to heaven. And then, especially if you've never experienced that, oh man, when you get to heaven, you're going to be like, wow, this is what it feels like to belong, to be loved. Nope, not everybody has felt loved or love or experienced love, being loved well in their life. And when they get to heaven, they're going to be like, wow. But nobody's going to be overwhelmed like, oh, wow, this is just overwhelming. I'm so loved. I'm so overwhelmed. And it's not going to be that way. It's going to be so real. And not only so real, but it's going to be real and perfect, but it's going to be like, I'm finally home. I'm finally who I am. I'm finally safe. I'm finally secure. I'm finally whole. And I can finally love and worship perfectly. Perfectly. Yeah. Isn't that cool? All right. Bye, you guys. God bless you. And we'll see you soon. Okay, bye.